The glass shattered against the marble floor as Amara ducked behind the kitchen counter, her heart hammering against her ribcage. Her stepmother's voice cut through the Seoul penthouse like a blade. "You think you can just walk away from this family, from everything we've built?" Amara pressed her back against the cold cabinet, phone clutched in her trembling hands. 3 missed calls from her father. 15 from her manager. The headline on her screen made her stomach turn: Choi Amara, heir to Choi Entertainment Empire, caught in scandal with married actor. Except it wasn't true. None of it was true. "I'm leaving," Amara said, standing up slowly. Her stepmother, Sun Hee, stood across the kitchen in her designer suit, perfectly composed despite the shattered crystal at her feet. "I'm done being your puppet." Sun Hee's laugh was cold. "With what money your father controls everything. Your apartment, your car, your credit cards. You are nothing without the Choi name." Amara's jaw tightened. She thought of the secret bank account her late mother had left her, the one Sun Hee didn't know about. The one with just enough to disappear. "Watch me." She walked out of that penthouse and never looked back. 6 months later, Amara stood in a cramped studio apartment in Hongdae, so different from her previous life that sometimes she had to pinch herself. No security guards. No paparazzi. No carefully curated social media posts. She was just Myra now, a Nigerian-Korean woman teaching English at a small language academy, her natural curls free instead of straightened, her face bare of the heavy makeup stylists used to apply. The freedom was intoxicating and terrifying in equal measure. "Myra, you're going to be late." Her roommate Yuki called from the living room. Yuki was a Japanese exchange student who believed Myra was just another foreign teacher trying to make it in Seoul. Simple. Uncomplicated. Amara grabbed her bag and rushed out, nearly colliding with someone on the stairs. Strong hands caught her shoulders, steadying her. "I'm so sorry," she looked up and froze. The man was tall, with sharp features softened by kind eyes. He wore a simple black turtleneck and jeans, his dark hair slightly tousled. But it was his smile that made her breath catch, warm and genuine in a way she hadn't experienced in years. "No harm done," he said in perfect English, though his Korean accent was evident. "You must be Yuki's new roommate." "I'm Ji-hoon. I live upstairs." "Myra," she said automatically, then wondered if she'd been too quick, too eager to claim her new identity. His eyes lingered on her face for just a moment longer than necessary, something flickering in their depths that she couldn't quite read. Then he smiled again and stepped aside. "Nice to meet you, Myra. Welcome to the building." She hurried past him, but she could feel his gaze on her back all the way down the stairs. The language academy was a 40-minute subway ride away. Amara had deliberately chosen a job far from Gangnam, far from anywhere the Choi family's influence reached. Here in Hongdae, surrounded by university students and artists, she could breathe. Her morning classes went smoothly. Intermediate English conversation with a group of enthusiastic college students who were more interested in American slang than grammar rules. During her lunch break, she sat in the small teacher's lounge, eating kimbap from the convenience store and scrolling through news on her phone. She'd made it a habit to check. To make sure the scandal had died down, that her family had moved on to their next manufactured crisis. The Choi Entertainment Empire was vast, controlling everything from K-pop groups to variety shows to streaming platforms. Her father had built it from nothing, and Sun Hee had perfected the art of manipulating it. Teacher Myra, one of her students, a bright girl named Jaeun, poked her head into the lounge. "There's someone here to see you." Amara's blood ran cold. "Who?" "He said he's a friend." Very handsome. Ja-eun giggled. Amara followed her student out, her mind racing through possibilities. Had her family found her? Was it a reporter? She'd been so careful, changing her phone number, closing all her social media, using her mother's maiden name instead of Choi. But the man waiting in the lobby wasn't a threat. It was Jaehoon from her building, holding 2 cups of coffee and looking slightly sheepish. "I hope I'm not interrupting," he said. "Yuki mentioned you worked here. I was in the area and thought you might need an afternoon pick-me-up." He offered her one of the cups. Amara hesitated, then took it. The warmth seeped into her palms. "That's very kind of you. You didn't have to." "I wanted to." His smile was easy, comfortable. "Actually, I was hoping you might have time to grab dinner this week. There's a great Nigerian restaurant in Itaewon. I thought you might be homesick." She stared at him. "How did you know I'm Nigerian?" "Your accent," he said simply. "When you speak Korean, there's a slight inflection. My best friend is Nigerian Korean too. I'd recognize it anywhere." It was a reasonable explanation. So why did something in her gut twist with unease? "I don't know," she said slowly. "I'm pretty busy with work. Just dinner. As neighbors." His expression was hopeful, almost vulnerable. "I promise I'm not a serial killer or anything. You can ask Yuki. I've lived in that building for 3 years." Against her better judgment, Amara found herself nodding. "Okay. Dinner. But somewhere low-key." His face lit up. "Perfect. Friday night." "Friday night," she agreed. He left with a wave, and Amara stood in the lobby, coffee in hand, wondering what she'd just agreed to. Ja-eun appeared at her elbow, practically vibrating with excitement. "Teacher, is that your boyfriend?" "No," Amara said firmly. "Just a neighbor." But as she returned to her classroom, she couldn't stop thinking about the way Jaehoon had looked at her. Like he was seeing something deeper than the surface. Like he knew something she didn't. The week crawled by. Amara threw herself into her work, preparing lesson plans and grading papers. She video called her best friend Chioma, who was back in Lagos. "So you're actually going on a date?" Chioma's face filled the screen, her braids pulled back in a high ponytail. "Amara, that's amazing. It's not a date. And don't call me that name." Amara glanced around her empty apartment nervously. "What if someone hears?" "Girl, you're in your own apartment. Relax." Chioma's expression softened. "I'm just glad you're finally living. You were suffocating in that life." "I know." Amara pulled her knees to her chest. "But Chi, what if he finds out? What if my family tracks me down? Then you deal with it." "But you can't live in fear forever." Chioma leaned closer to the camera. "What's this guy like?" Amara thought about Jaehoon's smile, the way he'd brought her coffee without expecting anything in return. "He seems nice. Really nice. Which is exactly why I'm nervous. Because nice guys don't exist. Because in my experience, everyone wants something." Amara's voice dropped. "The last guy I dated leaked our private photos to the press for money. The guy before that was only interested because of my father's connections. I can't trust my own judgment anymore. This is different. He doesn't know who you really are." But that was the problem, wasn't it? He didn't know, and she was lying to him by omission every single day. Friday arrived too quickly. Amara changed outfits 4 times before settling on a simple black dress and denim jacket. Casual but put together. She left her hair natural, the curls framing her face. In her old life, she would have had a team of stylists. Now, she did her own makeup in a bathroom mirror that was slightly cracked in the corner. She liked this version of herself better. Jihoon was waiting outside her building, and her breath caught when she saw him. He wore dark jeans and a grey sweater that somehow made him look both casual and impossibly handsome. When he saw her, his entire face brightened. "You look beautiful," he said. "Thank you." She felt heat rise to her cheeks. When was the last time someone's compliment had made her blush? They took the subway to Hongdae, and Jihoon was easy to talk to. He asked about her work, seemed genuinely interested in her students' progress. He told her about his own job as a freelance photographer, mostly doing commercial work but dreaming of doing something more artistic. "What kind of photography do you love?" Amara asked as they walked through the bustling streets. "Stories," he said immediately. "I want to capture real stories. The kind that don't get told in mainstream media. Immigrants, mixed families, people who don't fit into neat categories." He glanced at her. "People like us, I guess." "Us? You know. Not quite Korean enough for Korea, not quite foreign enough to be considered fully foreign. Stuck in the middle." His voice was thoughtful, not bitter. "My mom is Korean, my dad is British. Growing up, I never felt like I belonged anywhere." Amara's chest tightened. "I know that feeling. Tell me about Nigeria," he said. "Do you miss it?" She did, terribly. She missed Lagos's chaos and energy, the way her mother's family had embraced her despite her father being Korean. She missed jollof rice and her grandmother's stories and the sound of pidgin English mixing with Yoruba on crowded streets. "Every day," she admitted. "But I can't go back right now." "Why not?" The question was gentle, not prying. But Amara felt the walls go up automatically. "Family stuff. It's complicated. Most family stuff is." Jihoon didn't push, just led her to a small restaurant tucked between a coffee shop and a clothing boutique. The smell of spices hit her the moment they walked in, and Amara felt tears prick her eyes. It smelled like home. Like her mother's kitchen. Like everything she'd lost. "You okay?" Jihoon's hand was on her elbow, concerned. "Yeah." She wiped her eyes quickly. "Just nostalgic." They ordered igasi soup and pounded yam, jollof rice, and plantains. The owner, a Nigerian woman named Auntie Blessing, fussed over them like they were her own children. When she heard Amara speaking Yoruba, her face lit up. "Ah, my sister. Where are you from?" "Lagos." "Ikja." "Ah. I'm from Suralere." Auntie Blessing clapped her hands together. "And this your fine Korean man, he treats you well." Amara felt her face heat. "We're just friends, Auntie." "Friends?" Auntie Blessing laughed, a deep belly laugh that shook her whole frame. "The way he looks at you, that's not friends. Oh. That's something else." She winked and returned to the kitchen, leaving Amara mortified and Jihoon smiling into his water glass. "Sorry," Amara muttered. "Don't be. She's right." Jihoon met her eyes across the table. "I do think you're something else." The food arrived, saving Amara from having to respond. But as they ate, laughing over shared memories of cultural confusion and family expectations, she felt something shift inside her chest. Something warm and terrifying and hopeful. This was dangerous. Getting close to someone, letting them in. She'd promised herself she wouldn't do this again. But Jihoon made her want to break that promise. "Can I ask you something?" he said as they walked back through the cooling night air. Seoul sparkled around them, neon signs reflected in puddles from an earlier rain. Sure. Why do you seem so scared all the time? Amara stopped walking. What? You're always looking over your shoulder. Checking your phone like you're expecting bad news. Even tonight, you've scanned the restaurant 3 times to see who else is here. His voice was gentle. You don't have to tell me, but I want you to know that whatever you're running from, you're safe with me. Her throat closed up. She wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to believe him so badly. It's a long story, she managed. I've got time. He stepped closer, and she could smell his cologne, something clean and subtle. Myra, I like you. I want to get to know you. The real you. But I can't do that if you won't let me in. The real you. The words hung between them like a challenge. What if the real me is someone you wouldn't like, she whispered. Jihoon reached out and tucked a curl behind her ear, his fingers lingering on her cheek. Impossible. She kissed him. She didn't mean to, didn't plan it, but suddenly her lips were on his and his arms were around her waist and everything else fell away. He tasted like ginger tea and possibility, and when they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, his eyes were dark with want. Come home with me, he said. Jihoon. Just to talk. I promise. I want to show you something. His apartment was bigger than hers, with floor-to-ceiling windows that looked out over Hongdae. But what caught her attention were the photographs covering every wall. Black and white images of Seoul's forgotten corners, colorful shots of families and children, intimate portraits that captured something raw and real. You took all of these? Amara moved from picture to picture, transfixed. Yet. It's my real work. The commercial stuff pays the bills, but this. He stood beside her, looking at a photo of an elderly woman at a market stall. This is what I care about. They're incredible. She meant it. Each image told a story, captured a moment of genuine human connection. I want to do a series on mixed families in Korea, he said. The challenges, the beauty, the complexity. Would you let me photograph you? Amara's stomach dropped. I don't know. I'm not really comfortable with cameras. Why, you're stunning. Because every photograph was a record. Evidence. A trail her family could follow. But she couldn't say that. I just prefer to stay behind the camera, not in front of it. Jihoon studied her for a long moment, and again she felt that unsettling sensation that he could see right through her carefully constructed walls. Okay, he said finally. No pressure. They sat on his couch, close but not touching, and talked until 2 a.m. About dreams and disappointments, about the weight of family expectations and the freedom of choosing your own path. Amara told him carefully edited versions of her life, always dancing around the truth without lying outright. When she finally left, heading down to her own apartment, her lips still tingling from their kiss, she felt lighter than she had in months. And absolutely terrified. The next morning, Yuki was waiting for her in the kitchen, eyebrows raised meaningfully. So how was dinner? It was nice, Amara said, trying to sound casual as she made coffee. Just nice, girl. You came home at 2 a.m. That's more than nice. Amara laughed despite herself. Okay, it was really nice. He's different. Different good or different bad? Different good. Which is why I'm freaking out. She sat across from Yuki at their small kitchen table. I really like him, Yuki. Really like him. And that's terrifying. Because of your ex. Amara had told Yuki a simplified version of her past, about a bad breakup that had driven her to Seoul for a fresh start. It wasn't the whole truth, but it was close enough. Because I don't trust my own judgment anymore. What if I'm making another mistake? Yuki reached across the table and squeezed her hand. You can't live your life afraid of making mistakes. That's not living, that's just surviving. And Myra, you deserve to actually live. The words echoed Chioma's advice. Maybe they were both right. Maybe she was letting fear control her instead of taking control of her own happiness. Her phone buzzed. A text from Jihun, thinking about you. Coffee later. She smiled before she could stop herself. Yuki noticed and grinned. You've got it bad, friend. Yeah, Amara admitted. I really do. Over the next few weeks, she and Jihun fell into an easy rhythm. Coffee dates before her morning classes. Late night walks through Seoul's quieter neighborhoods. Movie nights in his apartment where they'd argue about cinematography and fall asleep tangled together on his couch. He was patient with her boundaries, never pushing when she deflected personal questions. But Amara could feel the lies piling up between them, a wall she'd built brick by brick to keep him from seeing who she really was. She wanted to tell him. God, she wanted to tell him everything. But every time she opened her mouth to confess, fear stopped her. What if he rejected her? What if he told someone? What if her family found her because she'd trusted the wrong person again? Then one evening, everything changed. They were at a street market in Dongdaemun, holding hands and laughing at Jihun's terrible attempts to bargain with a clothing vendor. Amara felt genuinely happy, the weight of her secrets momentarily forgotten. Then she saw him. Daniel Kong, her ex-boyfriend. The one who'd leaked their private photos to the tabloids. The one who'd claimed to love her while selling her out for a quick paycheck. He was walking straight toward them, scanning the crowd. Amara's heart stopped. She turned away quickly, pulling Jihun in the opposite direction. What's wrong? Jihun asked immediately, sensing her panic. I need to leave. Right now. Myra. Please. Her voice was desperate, and she hated how weak she sounded. Jihun didn't ask questions, just put his arm around her and guided her away from the market, into a quieter side street. She was shaking, adrenaline flooding her system. Did someone threaten you? Jihun's voice was hard now, protective. Tell me what happened. I saw someone I used to know. Someone I don't want to see me. An ex? She nodded, not trusting her voice. Jihun pulled her into his arms, and she buried her face in his chest, breathing in his familiar scent until her heart rate slowed. He can't hurt you, Jihun said firmly. I won't let anyone hurt you. But he could. Daniel could recognize her, could tell her family where she was, could destroy the fragile peace she'd built. The danger suddenly felt very real again. Jihun, there's something I need to tell you. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Is this Choi Amara? Her blood turned to ice. Who is this? My name is Park Min-jun. I'm a reporter with Seoul Daily News. I have some questions about your family's business practices. I understand you left the company under difficult circumstances. I have nothing to say. She moved to hang up, but the reporter's next words stopped her. I know about the embezzlement. I know your stepmother has been cooking the books for years, using company funds for personal expenses. I have documentation. But I need someone on the inside to confirm it. Someone who knows the truth. Amara's mind raced. She'd suspected Sun-hee was corrupt, but embezzlement that could destroy the entire company. Her father's life work. Why are you calling me? Because you're the only one with both the knowledge and the motivation to expose her. She destroyed your reputation to cover her own tracks, didn't she? The scandal with Daniel Kong, that was all manufactured by her to discredit you. The pieces clicked into place with horrible clarity. The leaked photos, the perfect timing right when she'd started questioning some of Sun He's business decisions. It had all been planned. I need time to think, Amara said. I'll give you 3 days. After that, I'm running the story with or without your confirmation. It would be better with it. He gave her his contact information and hung up. Amara stood frozen, phone clutched in her hand. Ji-hoon was watching her with concern. What's going on? She couldn't keep lying. Not after this. Not when everything was about to explode anyway. My name isn't Myra, she said quietly. It's Amara. Choi Amara. And I'm the daughter of one of the richest men in Korea. Ji-hoon's expression didn't change. He just watched her, waiting. 6 months ago, I left my family. There was a scandal, a fake scandal my stepmother created to discredit me because I was asking too many questions about the company finances. She leaked private photos of me to the press, destroyed my reputation, isolated me from everyone I cared about. The words tumbled out now, unstoppable. So I left. Changed my name, got a new job, tried to start over. And I've been lying to you this entire time because I was terrified that if anyone found out who I really was, my family would find me and drag me back. She was crying now, hot tears streaming down her face. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I lied to you. But I need you to know that everything else was real. My feelings for you, they're real. The person you've gotten to know, that's the real me, just without all the money and fame and bullshit. Ji-hoon was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, I know. Amara's head snapped up. What? I know who you are. I've known since the day we met. The world tilted. You, what? I recognized you immediately. Your face was all over the news 6 months ago. His voice was gentle but firm. I know about the scandal. I know about your family. I've known the whole time. Betrayal crashed over her like a wave. Then why did you approach me? Why did you? She couldn't even finish the sentence, too hurt and angry and confused. Because I wanted to give you what no one else had. A choice. Ji-hoon stepped closer, but she backed away. Amara, you ran away from people who controlled you, who used you. I didn't want to be another person taking your agency. So I let you tell me what you wanted me to know, when you were ready. That's not fair. You let me think I was fooling you. You let me lie. You weren't lying about anything that mattered. His eyes were intense now, almost fierce. You were protecting yourself. That's not the same thing. You should have told me you knew. When would have been the right time? He ran a hand through his hair, frustrated. The first day you would have run. A week and you still would have run. I was waiting for you to trust me enough to tell me yourself. And you just did. Amara's mind was reeling. She couldn't process this, couldn't figure out how to feel. I need to go. She turned and walked away, ignoring him calling her name. She went straight to her apartment and locked the door. Then she sat on her bed and let herself fall apart completely. Yuki was out, thank God, because Amara couldn't have explained this to anyone. Ji-hoon had known. The entire time, he'd known, and he'd let her pretend, let her hide. Was that kindness or manipulation? She couldn't tell anymore. Her judgment was so broken that she couldn't trust her own instincts. Her phone buzzed constantly. Texts from Ji-hoon, increasingly desperate. She ignored them all. Then, at midnight, there was a knock on her door. She almost didn't answer, but the knocking persisted. "Amara, please. Just let me explain." She opened the door. Jihoon looked wrecked, his eyes red-rimmed, his usually neat hair disheveled. "You have 5 minutes," she said coldly. He came inside, standing awkwardly in her small living room. "I should have told you from the beginning." "You're right about that. But Amara, I've watched you bloom over these past few weeks. I've watched you relax, laugh, let your guard down. You were finally free. And I didn't want to take that away from you by reminding you of everything you were running from. That wasn't your choice to make. I know. And I'm sorry." He looked directly at her, and the raw honesty in his face made her chest ache. "But I need you to understand something. I didn't approach you because of who your family is. I approached you because I saw someone beautiful and sad sitting on the stairs of my building, looking lost. And I wanted to know her. The real her, not the heiress or the scandal or any of that. Just her. How do I know that's true? How do I know you're not just another person trying to use me? You don't." His voice was quiet. "You have to decide whether to trust me or not. But Amara, I've had 100 opportunities to exploit this. To sell your location to the press, to contact your family for a reward, to use you for clout or money or connections. I didn't. I won't. Because I don't care about Choi Amara the heiress. I care about Myra who teaches English to teenagers and laughs at terrible jokes and cries during Disney movies. I care about the woman who's brave enough to walk away from everything to find herself." Amara wanted to believe him. Every fiber of her being wanted to believe him. "There's more," she said. "A reporter contacted me. He knows about my stepmother embezzling from the company. He wants me to confirm it for a story." Jihoon's eyes widened. "What are you going to do?" "I don't know." She sank onto the couch, suddenly exhausted. "If I help him, it could destroy my family. My father built that company from nothing. It's his entire life. But if I don't, son, he gets away with it. She wins. And I can't. I can't let her win." Jihoon sat beside her, not touching but close enough that she could feel his warmth. "What does your heart tell you to do?" "My heart is an idiot that keeps falling for the wrong people." A ghost of a smile crossed his face. "Fair. But for what it's worth, I don't think I'm wrong people, and I don't think helping expose corruption is wrong either, even if it's complicated." They sat in silence for a long time. Then Amara said, "If we're going to do this, if we're going to try to make this work, you have to promise me something." "Anything. No more secrets. Ever. Even if you think you're protecting me. I need complete honesty." "I promise." He held out his hand, and after a moment, she took it. His fingers intertwined with hers, warm and solid and real. "Complete honesty. Starting now. I'm falling in love with you, Amara. And it scares the hell out of me." Her breath caught. "Jihoon. You don't have to say it back. I just needed you to know." He brought her hand to his lips, kissed her knuckles gently. "Whatever you decide to do about the reporter, about your family, I'm with you. Completely." She leaned her head on his shoulder, feeling the steady rhythm of his breathing. For the first time in 6 months, she didn't feel alone. "I'm scared," she whispered. "Me too. But I think I have to do this. I have to face them. Then we'll face them together." The next morning, Amara called the reporter back. They met at a small cafe in a neighborhood she'd never been to, somewhere anonymous and safe. Park Min-jun was younger than she'd expected, maybe early 30s, with kind eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor. "Thank you for meeting me," he said, sliding a manila folder across the table. "Everything's in here. Transaction records, emails, witness statements from former employees. But it's not enough without someone who can confirm the broader pattern." Amara opened the folder and felt sick. Millions of won diverted from company accounts. Fake vendors, inflated expenses, money disappearing into offshore accounts. And her father's signature on half of it. "He doesn't know," she said immediately. "My father, he trusts Sun-hee completely. She handles all the financial details. He focuses on the creative side. Can you prove that?" "I can try." She thought of her father's office, his computer, the files she used to have access to. "But I'd need to get back into the company building. That's risky. Everything about this is risky." She closed the folder. "When do you want to publish?" "Friday." "That gives you 3 days. 3 days to betray her family. Or save them, depending on how you looked at it." Ji-hoon was waiting outside the cafe. He'd offered to come in with her, but she'd needed to do this part alone. Now, seeing his steady presence, she felt grateful for his support. "How did it go?" "I'm going to do it. But I need to get evidence from my father's office first." She took a deep breath. "Which means I need to go back home. Then let's plan this carefully. You're not walking into that house unprepared." They spent the next 2 days strategizing. Ji-hoon helped her map out the security protocols, remember the blind spots in the cameras, figure out the best time to enter. He treated it like a heist movie, which helped make it feel less terrifying. On Thursday night, Amara stood outside the gates of her family's estate in Gangnam, her heart hammering. She'd dressed in all black, her hair pulled back, looking nothing like the polished heiress who used to live here. "You sure about this?" Ji-hoon asked. He was driving, ready to get her out fast if needed. "No. But I'm doing it anyway." She used her old security code, praying Sun-hee hadn't changed it. The gate clicked open. She was in. The house was dark except for lights in the upstairs bedroom where her father and Sun-hee would be sleeping. Amara slipped through the side entrance, avoiding the main hallways where staff might be working late. Her father's study was exactly as she remembered. Dark wood, leather chairs, walls lined with awards and photos from his decades in the entertainment industry. She'd loved this room as a child, had felt safe here. Now it just felt like a monument to lies. His computer was password protected, but Amara knew the code. Her mother's birthday. Some things her father never changed. She plugged in a USB drive and started downloading files. Financial records, emails, board meeting minutes. Everything that would prove her father had been kept in the dark while Sun-hee systematically stole from him. 15 minutes. That's how long the download took. 15 minutes of pure terror, jumping at every sound, certain she'd be caught. Then she heard footsteps. Amara ducked under the desk, her heart in her throat. The study door opened. "I thought I heard something." Sun-hee's voice, sharp and suspicious. Another voice, male. The security system didn't alert. "Check it anyway." Amara held her breath as a security guard swept the room with a flashlight. The beam passed over the desk, inches from where she hid. The computer screen was dark, thank God. She'd closed everything. "Nothing here, ma'am." "Fine. But increase the perimeter checks." I have a feeling about tonight. They left. Amara waited 5 full minutes before moving, every muscle cramped and aching. She grabbed the USB drive and made her way back through the house. She was almost at the side door when a light turned on behind her. Amara. She froze. Turned slowly. Her father stood in the hallway, wearing pajamas and a robe, looking older than she remembered. His face was shocked, disbelieving. "Appa," she whispered. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then her father's eyes filled with tears. "You're alive. You're okay." He moved toward her, arms outstretched. Amara backed away. "Don't." He stopped, hurt flashing across his face. "I've been so worried. You just disappeared. No one knew where you were, if you were safe. You let her destroy me." The words came out harsh, accusing. "You believed her lies over your own daughter." The evidence was overwhelming. The photos, the witness statements. All fabricated. All of it. And you didn't even question it because you were too busy trusting your wife over your own child. Amara's voice broke. "Mom would have believed me." Her father flinched like she'd struck him. "That's not fair. None of this is fair." She was shouting now, months of pain and anger spilling out. "You replaced Mom with a woman who only cares about money and power. You turned the company she helped you build into something ugly. And when I tried to stand up to Sun-hee, you let her crush me. I thought I was protecting you. The scandal would have been so much worse if what if I'd stayed and fought, at least then I would have had my dignity. Instead, I've been hiding like a criminal for 6 months, too scared to even use my own name." Her father's shoulders slumped. He suddenly looked very old and very tired. "What are you doing here, Amara?" She held up the USB drive. "Getting evidence. Sun-hee has been stealing from the company for years. Millions of won. And I'm going to prove it." His face went white. "What are you talking about? Check your accounts, Appa. Really check them. Look at the transactions she's authorized in your name. She's been embezzling right under your nose, and you've been too blind to see it. Amara, you can't just accuse." "I'm not accusing. I have proof. And tomorrow, the whole world is going to know the truth." She moved toward the door. "I'm sorry it has to be this way. But you made your choice when you chose her over me. Now I'm making mine." "Wait." He grabbed her arm. "Please. Don't do this. Think about what it will do to the company, to all the people who work for us. I am thinking about them. They deserve to know who's really stealing from them." She pulled free. "Goodbye, Appa." She ran. Out the door, across the grounds, through the gate. Ji-hoon's car was waiting, engine running. She threw herself into the passenger seat. "Drive. Now." He didn't ask questions, just drove. It wasn't until they were miles away, lost in Seoul's maze of streets, that Amara let herself fall apart. Ji-hoon pulled into a quiet parking lot and held her while she sobbed. "I saw my father," she managed between gasps. "He looked so old, Ji-hoon. So broken." "I know, baby. I know. Am I doing the right thing?" He pulled back to look at her, wiping tears from her cheeks. "You're doing the brave thing. That's all any of us can do." They went back to Ji-hoon's apartment. Amara couldn't face going to her own place, couldn't bear to be alone. She showered, washing away the feeling of that house, and when she came out, Ji-hoon had made tea and was waiting on the couch. "The reporter publishes tomorrow," she said, curling up against him. There's no going back after that. Do you want to go back? She thought about it. Really thought about it. About the life she'd left behind, the money and prestige and carefully managed image. About who she'd been versus who she was now. No, she said finally. I don't. That life was killing me slowly. At least this way, I'm fighting for something that matters. Then you're exactly where you need to be. They fell asleep like that, tangled together on his couch, and for a few hours Amara felt at peace. The article dropped at 6 a.m. By 7 a.m., it was trending on every social media platform in Korea. By 8 a.m., Amara's phone was exploding with calls and messages. She and Jihoon read through the article together. Park Min-jun had done thorough work, laying out the evidence methodically. He'd included Amara's confirmation but had been careful to paint her as a whistleblower, not a vengeful daughter. The public response was swift and brutal. Sun-hee's carefully constructed image crumbled in minutes. People who'd believed the scandal about Amara now questioned everything they'd been told. Her father's company stock plummeted as investors panicked. "Are you okay?" Jihoon asked, watching her scroll through her phone. "I don't know. Ask me in a week." She put the phone down. "My father called 17 times. You don't have to talk to him." "I know. But I think I should, eventually." Her phone rang again. This time, it was Chioma. "Girl. I just saw the news. Are you okay? Do you need me to fly to Korea? I will literally get on a plane right now." "Chi, I'm fine. I'm with Jihoon. The neighbor boy, the one you've been dating." "Yeah. He's good to you." Amara looked at Jihoon, who was making breakfast in the kitchen, humming to himself. He'd stayed up with her all night, held her while she cried, made her laugh when she thought she'd never laugh again. "Yeah. He's really good to me. Then I approve." "But seriously, Amara, you just took down one of Korea's most powerful women. You're not safe. You need to be careful." "I know. We're being careful." But even as she said it, Amara felt the weight of what she'd done settling over her. Sun-hee wouldn't go down quietly. There would be retaliation, legal battles, media circuses. The storm was just beginning. That evening, there was a knock on Jihoon's door. They looked at each other, tense. "Were you expecting anyone?" Amara asked. "No." Jihoon checked the peephole and his eyes widened. "It's your father." Amara's stomach dropped. "What? Should I tell him to leave?" She thought about it. She could hide, could refuse to see him. But she was so tired of hiding. "No. Let him in." Her father looked worse than he had the night before. His clothes were wrinkled, his hair uncombed. He looked like he hadn't slept. "Amara," he said. "Please. I just need 5 minutes." She nodded, and Jihoon excused himself to the bedroom, giving them privacy. Her father sat heavily on the couch. "I checked the accounts. You were right. Sun-hee has been stealing from the company for at least 4 years. Maybe longer." Amara felt no satisfaction in being right. Just sadness. "I'm sorry, Appa." "No. I'm sorry." His voice cracked. "I should have believed you. About everything. The scandal, Sun-hee, all of it. I was so caught up in grief after your mother died, and Sun-hee was there, and she made everything seem so easy. I stopped paying attention to what mattered. You stopped paying attention to me." "I know." He wiped his eyes. "Your mother would be so disappointed in me." "Yeah. She would. They sat in silence for a moment. Then her father said, "I've filed for divorce. And I'm pressing charges against Sunhee for embezzlement and fraud. She's been arrested." Amara hadn't expected that. "Appa. You were right to expose her. It took courage to do what you did. More courage than I've shown in years." He looked at her directly. "I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't deserve it. But I want you to know that I'm going to fix this. The company, my priorities, everything. And if you ever want to come back, if you ever want to be part of it again, the door is open." "I don't want to come back," Amara said gently. "I like my life now. Teaching English, living in a tiny apartment, being just Myra to people who don't care about my last name. I'm happier than I've been in years." Her father looked around Jihoon's modest apartment, taking in the photographs on the walls, the simple furniture, the life his daughter had built without him. "Who's the young man?" "Someone who sees me. Really sees me. Not the heiress, not the scandal, just me. He's a good person. The best." Her father nodded slowly. "Then I'm glad you found him." He stood. "I should go. But Amara, I want you to know that I love you. I always have, even when I was too blind to show it properly. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of being your father again." Amara stood too. For a moment, they just looked at each other. Then she stepped forward and hugged him. He held her tight, and she felt him shaking with silent sobs. "I love you too, Appa," she whispered. "And maybe someday, we can figure out how to be a family again. I'd like that." After he left, Jihoon emerged from the bedroom. "How are you feeling?" "Lighter. Like I've been carrying a weight for so long that I forgot what it felt like to stand up straight." She moved into his arms. "Thank you for being here. For all of this. Where else would I be?" Over the next few weeks, the scandal played out in the media. Sunhee was formally charged and denied bail. Her father gave press conferences, apologizing to his employees and shareholders, promising to rebuild the company with transparency. Amara's name was cleared completely, the truth about the original scandal finally revealed. She could have gone back. Her father meant it when he said the door was open. But she didn't want to. Instead, she negotiated a settlement with her father. She'd keep teaching, keep her small apartment, keep her independence. But she'd also accept a trust fund, enough to have security without being controlled by money again. "You're sure about this?" Jihoon asked as they walked through Hongdae one evening, hands intertwined. "You could have everything back. The penthouse, the cars, the status." "I have everything I need," Amara said, squeezing his hand. "I have freedom. I have work that matters to me. I have friends who like me for me." She stopped walking and turned to face him. "And I have you. You definitely have me." He cupped her face in his hands. "I love you, Amara. All of you. The parts you show the world and the parts you keep hidden. The strength and the fear. The heiress and the English teacher. All of it. I love you too," she said, and kissed him right there on the crowded street, not caring who saw. Because this was her life now. Messy and complicated and absolutely perfect. 3 months later, Amara stood in a gallery in Hongdae, looking at photographs of herself. Jihoon had finally convinced her to let him include her in his Mixed Families series, and the results were stunning. Images of her teaching her students, laughing with Yuki, cooking jollof rice in Auntie Blessing's restaurant. Her natural hair free, her face radiant with genuine joy. "You captured her perfectly," a voice said behind her. Amara turned. Her father stood there, dressed casually for once, looking at the photographs with wonder. Appa! You came. You invited me. Of course I came. He moved closer to a photo of Amara and Jihun together, both of them caught mid-laugh at something outside the frame. Is this him? Yeah. That's Jihun. As if summoned, Jihun appeared beside her, slightly nervous. Mr. Choi. It's an honor to meet you. Her father studied him for a long moment. Then he extended his hand. Thank you for taking care of my daughter when I couldn't. Jihun shook his hand firmly. She takes care of herself pretty well, sir. I just try to keep up. Her father smiled, and Amara realized it was the first genuine smile she'd seen from him in years. They walked through the gallery together, the three of them, and Amara felt something shift in her chest. This wasn't the family she'd been born into, all wealth and appearances and carefully managed images. This was something new. Something real. Her phone buzzed. A text from Chioma, saw the pics from the gallery. Your man has serious talent. Also you look happy. Like genuinely happy. I'm crying. Come visit Lagos soon and bring him. Mom wants to meet him. Amara showed Jihun the text. How do you feel about meeting my mother's family? Terrified and excited in equal measure. He kissed her temple. When do we leave? Next month. I already asked for time off from the academy. As the gallery began to fill with visitors, Amara found herself surrounded by the people she loved. Yuki arrived with a group of friends from school. Auntie Blessing showed up with enough Nigerian food to feed everyone. Some of her students came, excited to see teacher Myra outside the classroom. This was her community now. Not built on money or status, but on genuine connection. On people who saw her and chose to stay. Late that night, after the gallery had closed and everyone had left, Amara and Jihun sat on his apartment floor, eating leftover jollof rice and drinking wine. Can I ask you something? Amara said. Always. That first day we met, when I was running down the stairs. You really recognized me immediately. Instantly. And you decided right then to approach me anyway. I decided right then that I wanted to know the woman behind the headlines. The real person, not the tabloid version. He set down his wine glass. And I'm so glad I did, because you're even more incredible than I imagined. Even with all the drama, the family scandal, the media attention, the complicated history. Especially with all of that. Because it made you who you are. Strong enough to walk away from everything, brave enough to fight for what's right, vulnerable enough to let people in despite being hurt. He took her hand. Amara, you're the strongest person I know. She felt tears prick her eyes, but they were good tears this time. Happy tears. I want to show you something, she said. She pulled out her phone and opened her photos. Look. It was a picture of her from a year ago, at some company event, hair straightened and styled within an inch of its life, makeup perfect, wearing a designer dress that probably cost more than her current monthly rent. She was smiling, but her eyes were dead. That's who I was. And this, she opened a recent photo Yuki had taken of her and Jihun at the street market, both of them laughing, her hair wild and free, wearing jeans and a simple t-shirt. This is who I am now. You're beautiful in both, Jihun said. But you're happier in the second one. I'm happier because I'm free. And I'm free because I finally found the courage to choose myself. She leaned against him. Thank you for seeing me when I couldn't see myself. Thank you for letting me in. They sat like that for a long time, comfortable in the silence, secure in each other's presence. Outside, Seoul hummed with its endless energy. Inside, Amara finally felt at home. Her phone buzzed one more time. A text from her father, "Thank you for tonight. I'm proud of the woman you've become. Your mother would be too." Amara smiled and typed back, "I'm proud of us too, Appa. We're going to be okay." And she believed it. They would be okay. All of them. Not perfect, not without struggles, but okay. Because they'd chosen truth over appearances, connection over control, love over fear. Jihoon was already half asleep against her shoulder, his breathing slow and even. Amara closed her eyes and let herself relax completely, something she hadn't been able to do in years. This was her life now. Imperfect and uncertain and absolutely beautiful. And she wouldn't change a single thing. If you enjoyed this story about finding love and identity, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. Drop a comment below and tell us what you think. Would you have exposed your family's secrets? Have you ever had to choose between loyalty and truth? We read every single comment and love hearing your thoughts. Don't forget to click that notification bell so you never miss our next upload. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, sometimes the person who knows your true identity is exactly who you need to help you find yourself.